G'day. Who do we have here? We have Emil Verster from the Pod Hub, a civically minded resident and business owner. And who else do we have?
You have Anne Pankhurst, who's going to host this wonderful Know Your Candidate podcast series. Really looking forward to getting to know our candidates.
And I'm Tony Snow, also from Pod Hub and business owner, ratepayer, and voter. And one of the things that we established was in the past, this is a once in a lifetime, once in a generation election that's coming up for Tauranga City. And we've had issues in the past about voting numbers, the number of people that have voted. And we thought, look, you've got a minimal chance and opportunity to meet the candidates, get to understand and know who they are to lead the city. And Tauranga being a $6 billion plus asset base, a $500 million turnover business, who is the right people to lead us and take us to the next, into the future? So we decided to put a podcast together, and Anne's graciously spending her time and her experience being a councillor herself, being a business owner herself, and multiple years with the Tauranga Business Chamber around the business community to really get to know our candidates.
Excellent. So ultimately, the future of Tauranga is in the hands of the residents, and we want to work with and to better understand the importance of choosing leaders who understand the challenges faced by the city, such as infrastructure, environment, community development, and economic growth. And so we hope that this podcast series will create more engagement and motivation for the residents of Tauranga to participate in the upcoming local elections. And any opening comments?
The format of the series will be a much more conversational style, so that we're actually taking, instead of the 150 words sound bites that you hear at public meetings or as written in the little book that you get delivered to you very shortly, we're taking over half an hour to actually understand and give each of the candidates a real chance to explain about themselves, their knowledge, their skills and their attributes, so that it's a much rounder, fuller conversation. So we hope that by doing that, you're learning much more about these people. They aren't hiding behind the 10-word soundbite. They're actually having to drill down and make really good answers to some reasonably challenging questions about where the future of the city is. So that's the format will be that, and we're hoping that it'll be a really exciting, and we know it'll be a really exciting, because these candidates really need your vote, and we want you to vote.
So voting papers are out on the 29th of June. You got till the 20th of July to get your vote in. So this podcast series is going to be up in the first week of July. So listen out for it. Listen to the candidates. Make your decisions on who you'd like to vote for. And how are you going to get to know these candidates? How are we going to drill into, and what are you hoping to get out of it to understand who we can vote for?
Questions are reasonably challenging, Tony, and they do sit around their skills and attributes and what they are bringing to the table, and how they're going to work with a team of people that aren't necessarily on the same page as them, because ultimately this is about consensus. And if we've learned anything over the past 20 years, that actually that sitting around the table and getting to a consensus is critical. So are the people that we're looking at those people, or are they going to be in a sort of contrary mood and return reports endlessly, or just bicker amongst themselves? The city can no longer afford that. We need to be thinking about our place in New Zealand's economic development and in the community development. Both of those are really critical now. And we need to be looking forward, not looking back and not looking inward. So those are two very important things that each of these candidates will have longer to answer those questions, and that will actually tell us much more about them, because they don't know what the questions are. They're going to come up as a surprise, and they will not actually understand until they're asked, and that will challenge quite a number of them. And that's what we're hoping to hear and understand. Because if you go into this, trust me, the day that you become a councillor, you are already knee-deep in really big projects. You are knee-deep in trying to understand the size and scale of the job you've done, and that is a really big thing for anyone to focus. Suddenly you are governing a $6 billion business. You're no longer worrying about the rats and mice. It's actually a really big organization.
And again, and that's coming from experience. I'm looking forward to this podcast series coming out. I'm going to be listening intently on who the future leaders of the city are going to be and help run the guide the operational team of the council and the staff and CEO. I'm looking forward to it. You can catch up on all the podcasts on the podhub.com and wherever you get all your podcasts. We hope you listen to it. Hope you see it. Any closing comments, Emil?
It's just a very important period of time for this particular council as we transition, not only through a recession, but through working with commissioners previously, the opportunity with a lot of construction projects coming on board, including the CBD, the impact of growth and making this place a vibrant place where people thrive and businesses make good decisions for coming here in the first instance. A lot of exciting opportunities on the horizon, but they ultimately are dependent on the council and the executive making it work really well going forwards.
So tune in where you can. Anne, you going to say?
Yes, I was going to say there's one of the most important things about two things. Firstly, vote. Democracy is only as good as the number of people that vote. And secondly, spread this podcast through your channels, your social media channels, as much as possible, far and wide. We want people to know and understand your candidate. So best of luck, and let's look forward to a fantastic series.
Looking forward to it. Keep your listening ears on. Get your fingers to the walking with voting, and look out to the podcast. Get to know your candidate.
Thank you. Tune in to the next episode of Know Your Candidate to be informed on who you want to run your city. Got feedback and like to comment your thoughts on the episode? Connect with Know Your Candidate on socials. This has been the podhub.com experience. Check out the podhub.com for other podcasts and how you can even do your own.